Hey there, friends. Good morning. Welcome to Coaching with Connie. Happy November. We made it through Halloween and COVID Halloween, and we're making it through the election. I wanted to talk to you guys today about you and what you've been doing. So, last month I was talking a lot about consistency, and I wanted to share with you guys about being consistent and showing up and making sure that you're offering the best you every single time somebody's expecting to see you, because consistency is so important, because if you don't keep showing up, nobody else will keep showing up either. So if you're the boss and you don't show up to the office and you keep not showing up, people will start thinking, well, maybe I can come in a little late, or maybe I can leave a little bit early. And so they're not showing up either. So that consistency covers so many different things. And I wanted to move on from that. Last month we talked about consistency, and now I want to talk about what you've been doing for you over the past 6-8 months that we've been dealing with all this confusion. Because, I said in my intro a little bit about free time. What have you been doing with this free time? Did you redesign yourself? Did you decide what the rest of your life is going to look like? Because you had sort of a reset. And I know a lot of you may have had a tough situation because you're out of a job, or your children are at home and homeschooling your kids through all of this confusion. I know has got to be amazingly difficult. I can't even imagine, and certainly don't want to imagine being in your shoes and doing that. And I'm so sorry for you having those situations. But here's what I want you to think about. Because some of us have done this and some of us haven't. It's sort of like having a free weekend and go, oh, okay, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to binge watch something. And you do that, and by the time you get to Sunday night, you're like, oh gosh, what did I do all weekend? And sometimes we need that little reset. But here's what I want to share with you. We've had this 8-month sort of period of lull, and a lot of things in your life may have been more confusing because of what's been going on around us. But it also has been a time to give you the opportunity to say, you know what? I am going to figure out how I come through this as a better me, whether that's in your individual life or your business life. Maybe your business had a crash. Maybe you had to shut the doors. Maybe you had to start over. Maybe you had to apply for the PPE loans. Maybe you had to let a lot of people go, but you still have the doors open. How really hard is that? I'm so sorry for the things that you're having to deal with. But what are you doing to redesign how you come out of this? So this is what I want you to think about. I know some of the things that have happened over the last 8 months have been really hard, but it's also been a reset. It's been an opportunity for our whole society to look at what's going on around us and say, what's really important? What should we be doing? What shouldn't we be doing? What's happening? I think something must be wrong with my sound. So hold on. Let's just make sure my sound is working. Sometimes my holder pushes the sound button. Everybody thinks video should be perfect, and it's not. So I just want you to understand that things do go wrong with all of us. So let's talk about this redesigning, redefining. So have you sat down and made some goals about what you want for you going forward? I am a goal setter, but I'm not always the best at sitting down and doing it and thinking big picture. But here's what I want you to think about. Think about what you want to be happening for you this time next year, or even in January or February. Then I want you to think about what should be happening for you by mid-year next year. And let's not even call it goals. Let's just talk about things that you want to be happening. Let's talk about where you want to be this time next year. What do you want your life to look like? And right now is such a perfect time to redefine that and redesign how you're going to get there. You may say, oh, I want to be living on the beach somewhere where I can get up and go walk on the beach every day. Okay, cool. How are you going to make that happen? So you're going to have to figure out what it takes to get that done. Are you willing to let go of some things that you thought were important? Because here's one thing I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of that is reality. Like, what do you really need now that we're not going to the stores every day? You're not apt to pick things off of the shelf. So what do you really need? What do your kids really need to survive? If you want to make those goals happen, how are you going to get there? But let's talk about it on a business level as well. So maybe your business had to close. And if it did, I'm so very sorry about that. I can't even imagine that struggle. I mean, I remember in my brick and mortar business. I was going through some of that back in the real estate crisis. And, you know, it was a big, hard wave to ride. And I totally can understand and sympathize with you. But what are you looking at going forward when you're riding that wave, that down of that wave? You've got to get your head out of the sand and go, all right, cool. What am I going to do to position myself in a spot that we can come out of this, and that when we do come out of this, that I'm going to be prepared to take on what comes next? Because look, you know, think about, let's talk about the real estate industry for just a second. When everything was shutting down, everybody couldn't go out of their house, real estate was shut down, nobody could do anything. And all of a sudden, then the rates dropped, and now everybody's so busy. They're busier than they can possibly imagine in a time of the year when normally they weren't really that busy. So here's what I want you to think about. I want you to sit and think. Let's not call it goals. Just think about what you want. Where do you want to be? And if it doesn't hit exactly the mark, that's okay. If you get close to it, you're a whole lot closer than you were today. So how are you redesigning what it looks like? I mean, maybe you owned an ice cream store, and maybe now no one's coming in because they can't come in, they can't buy your ice cream, and you can't sell it. Why can't you put it out there where people can come up, look into getting a food truck and selling ice cream in an ice cream truck? Think about if you own a car detail shop where people were coming in, well, maybe they're not coming in now. How do you get them to come in? Because they don't have to touch anybody, talk to anybody. They can drive through the car wash. Or you can do a mobile car wash where you can go to them. So let's start thinking about how we can do things a little bit differently. Because, you know, when the pandemic first happened, people in real estate said, oh gosh, this is going to be terrible because no sellers want any buyers coming in their house. No buyers want to go into somebody else's house and possibly get sick. But they figured out how to adapt. And this is what I want you to think about for yourself. So what are you doing to get yourself noticed and to redefining what you're doing? First of all, I want you to think about something. I know I talk about this all the time, but it's so powerful. If you just get online and start talking to people, tell them about the things that matter to you. And I've got some tips on my website that'll make it so much easier, that are just basic things, not hard stuff. You don't have to go buy anything. They're just basic things that allow you to make sure that you have the best view when somebody's looking at you. But if you're talking to people and they can see your energy, they understand what matters to you, then they gravitate more towards you. That's my first point. My second point is, as I said, be consistent. Do it on a regular basis. You guys see me on Wednesdays every week. Usually, you know, it's not exactly the same time, but usually it's between 8 and 10 or 9 and 10 o'clock. 9 and 11 usually is what it is, depending on what's going on, because I do have some people that I work with that sometimes I need to take care of some things for them first thing in the morning. So the time may adjust a little bit, but make that be consistent. And then the other thing is, decide where you want your life to look like. What's that redesign look like? Because you have this time to think that through. So I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your Wednesday. I really appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Happy November. We're almost to the end of the year. And so, yeah, you can make end of the year goals, or you can make 2021 goals. I don't even want you to think about that. I just want you to think about what you want your life and your business to look like going forward. If you've always wanted to open that flower shop, well, think about going out and buying some flowers and starting to play with things. Right now is a perfect time to watch YouTube videos on how to do things that you want to know more about. Don't sit and watch a Netflix binge. Sit and go on YouTube and look at the things that you're looking for. There's so much free information out there. And start playing with the things that matter to you to get you to the things that you want to do next. Redesigning you, it's a perfect time, and be consistent, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I really love that you tune into Coaching with Connie, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning into Coaching with Connie. I'm Connie Fuchsa. Bye-bye.